Let's face it, if we told you a few months ago we'd be making a video on football in Saudi Arabia, you probably wouldn't have been that excited. And yet, here we are. And that newfound interest is all down to one man, Cristiano Ronaldo. His move to Al-Nassr certainly sent shockwaves around the world, but is it actually a good deal for his club and for Saudi football? In this football reality video, we're asking if the Ronaldo deal is profitable for Al-Nassr. On the 30th of December 2022, one of the most sensational signings in football history was announced, as five-time Ballon d'Or winner Cristiano Ronaldo put pen to paper for Al-Nassr of the Saudi Pro League.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cristiano Ronaldo!
Through much of the World Cup, there was speculation about where free agent Ronaldo would end up after his Manchester United contract was terminated. But as Ronaldo stormed off in a huff following Portugal's quarter-final loss to Morocco in Qatar, few expected the next time we would see him would be over the border in Saudi Arabia. He'd previously stated he wanted to play Champions League football, while old videos of him saying he wanted to retire at the very top resurfaced. But he appears to have had a change of heart, unless he meant retiring at the top of the Saudi League and winning the Asian Champions League. A 2.5-year deal. CR7 will earn an enormous £173 million a year. That's £3.33 million a week. Interestingly, £62 million of that annual sum is for playing football, while the other £111 million will be for image rights and commercial deals. Brand Ronaldo being worth nearly double the 37-year-old's footballing abilities, we're already getting an idea of why Al-Nassr have brought Ronaldo to the desert. The official announcement made an instant impact on Al-Nassr. The club sold out of Ronaldo shirts within the hour, but fans continued queuing at the club shop as its staff kept printing Ronaldo 7 on the yellow and blue kits. The amount of revenue brought in from these shirt sales is yet to be disclosed, but it'll dwarf anything previously seen in Saudi football, paying back some of that £173 million. Speaking of numbers, Al-Nassr's social media exploded at the end of 2022. Before the big announcement, they had 800,000 followers on Instagram. A matter of hours later, that number stood at 6.3 million. Today, they're up to 12.4 million. For £173 million a year, you might want more than some likes on socials, but the huge audience that creates for potential sponsors and investors could make a huge difference to the club's fortunes. One area of investment is TV rights, arguably the most important to modern football clubs. Ronaldo's move quickly saw broadcasting companies from European big hitters Portugal and Italy set up deals for Saudi Pro League TV rights, while France, Germany, and others soon followed suit. With so much of the coverage centered around Cristiano, it'll be Al-Nassr who'll be the main beneficiaries, either financially, in terms of exposure, or both. Plus, with Al-Nassr shelling out for Ronaldo's image rights, every time his face appears in an advert, a social media post, or on a billboard, it's happy days for the Al-Nassr accountants. Regardless, more global TV coverage will be a boost to all the clubs in the Pro League, to Saudi football in general, and even the country as a whole. Saudi Arabia has a strong football culture. Anyone who watched the Qatar World Cup would know that. At times, it felt like the Saudis were the real host nation, and the scenes of jubilation that accompanied their victory over Argentina proved what football means to the ordinary Saudis. They first qualified for the World Cup in 1994 and haven't missed many since. Adoring fans attend Saudi Pro League matches. Al-Nassr were founded in 1955 and are by no means the oldest club in the country. History and tradition exists in Saudi Arabian football. This sets Saudi Arabia apart from some of its Arabian Gulf neighbours, who have little footballing pedigree and have used substantial wealth to host and fund various sporting projects. But in recent years, Saudi Arabia has used its enormous wealth to play catch-up with the likes of Qatar and the United Arab Emirates. By hosting heavyweight boxing clashes and a Formula 1 Grand Prix, setting up their own golf tour, Live Golf, and most notably, buying a controlling share of Newcastle United, Saudi Arabia hopes to get a slice of the pie their neighbours have been enjoying by hosting World Cups and owning the likes of Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City. All of these projects have been backed by the Saudi Public Investment Fund, which is controlled by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of the country. Marred by human rights abuses and the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi regime received heavy criticism for sport washing, using sport to improve its perception abroad, something having a popular football league with star quality will certainly help with. The star quality was added even before Ronaldo made his league debut, which, by the way, was a 1-0 win over Ettifaq in which Cristiano didn't score, but you already knew that. Representing Riyadh 11, a team comprised of players from Al-Nassr and their Riyadh rivals, Al-Hilal, Ronaldo had what may well be his final match against Lionel Messi, as Paris Saint-Germain came to town for an exhibition match. It is worth noting that Messi himself earns £25 million a year from the Saudi Tourist Board, a deal which some said was akin to him selling himself to the devil. Messi opened the scoring as the world watched in delight, confusion and disgust in equal measure, but Ronaldo scored twice before the break. PSG ended up winning the crazy game 5-4, where the two sides of the old GOAT debate were withdrawn just after the hour mark. What followed was interesting. The TV and streaming viewership around the world dropped significantly after Messi and Ronaldo left the pitch. Of course, they were the biggest attraction, but it's a lesson for Al-Nassr, the Saudi Pro League, and for TV companies about what happens to their clubs and products when the Ronaldo circus leaves town. Not surprisingly, Saudi Arabia are not content with one-off friendly matches. They have set their sights on bringing the biggest event in world sport to their shores. Along with Egypt and Greece, Saudi Arabia have expressed an interest in hosting the 2030 FIFA World Cup, in what would be the first multi-confederation World Cup. They face tough competition for the 2030 edition, but even if they miss out or delay their bid, it is expected that Saudi Arabia will become the second Middle Eastern nation to host World Cup fixtures. The way FIFA President Gianni Infantino has been seen regularly cozying up with Mohammed bin Salman in recent years, plus FIFA's willingness to take tournaments to nations with less than spotless human rights records, have done little to deter the idea. So there we are. How much of a benefit financially having Ronaldo will be to Al-Nassr, the Pro League, or Saudi Arabia is difficult to quantify, as is the amount of exposure, image and legitimacy given to both the country's football and its regime. But in the case of these, the numbers are only going in one direction: up. And that, for a country with ambitions of hosting a World Cup, is a big win. It must be said, of course, that no country is perfect. Ronaldo has the right to take any deal in any country he chooses, and football fans in Saudi Arabia have as much right to see the best players in the world as anyone else. Time for you to have your say. Who is the biggest winner from the Ronaldo deal? Were Al-Nassr right to splash so much cash on the 37-year-old? Will you be watching the Saudi Pro League anytime soon? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Football Reality so you're ready for our next video.